You have covered as many criminals as I have. You start to wonder, where do they come from? Do they turn to a life of crime because some other career choice that they had just didn't work out? Or did they always just have it in them? Amanda C. Riley makes a pretty strong case for the latter. You know, it was in there all along. You know her better as Scamanda, the subject of the hottest podcast on the charts right now and a hit TV series. She was the wife and mom and self-professed Christian who told the world that she had terminal cancer and went to elaborate lengths to prove it, right down to the staged hospital pictures and the bogus medical reports. Look at these pictures. Fake. All of them. Fake. She didn't do it for fun. She did it for the attention and for the cash. Lots and lots and lots of cash. She bilked anyone who would listen, including the people who knew her best and loved her most. And she took as much money and stuff as she could wring out of them all while begging for their sympathy. I'm in pain. My bills. She even scammed her way into getting herself a husband and somebody else's daughter, too. And it was somebody else's husband. She went to prison for it in 2022, and since then, her whole sorry life has been exposed, first in the 8-part podcast Scamanda, and now in a 4-part docuseries on ABC and Hulu.
Amanda Riley was a mother, wife,
speaker at her church.
Everybody loved her. She got diagnosed with cancer.
I heard the words, "You have stage 3 blood cancer."
We thought she was God's gift.
When Amanda told me she had cancer, I was so devastated.
A beloved young Christian woman fighting a battle undeserved.
We gave our hearts, our prayers.
Everybody put their hands over her and said, "Heal this woman. Oh God, heal her."
I'm thankful that I have cancer because I am now surrounded by the right people in my life.
There was just something inside of me just saying, this isn't right.
And then all of a sudden, it went dark.
She was a liar.
Why would somebody fake cancer?
Why would they indeed? So back to my question. Was Amanda C. Riley always a scheming opportunist? Apparently the answer is yes. Her questionable choices go back at least as far as her teenage years, when she was hired by a California family to teach their daughter how to dance. The girl was fighting cancer, real cancer. And since she was immunocompromised, having Amanda come to the house to teach cheerleading, that was a treat. That was also when Amanda met the father of the family and the man who would eventually become her husband. See where I'm going here? That dad abruptly packed up and left his family and left a whole lot of carnage behind. Amanda and Corey, that's the husband of the year, decided that they wanted full custody of the child Corey had with his ex, the one who was left behind. Her name was Jessa, that little girl, and she was the little sister of the sick girl with cancer. Amanda and her new husband, Corey, lied in court and called the child's mom unstable. For whatever reason, a judge bought it, and they gave custody of that little girl, Jessa, to the newly married scammy couple, Corey and Amanda. Amanda would later call that little girl her bonus daughter. Hey, my bonus daughter. And it was at little Jessa's school where Amanda may have found her very first mark for the con that sent her to prison. The other mom at the school happened to mention in passing to Amanda that there was this cancer fundraiser that brought in $100,000 within hours for someone that she knew. And wouldn't you know it, Amanda conveniently announced she had cancer too, within hours. By the time Amanda was outed as a grifter, years later, in part with the help of that mom back at the school, she had conned hundreds and hundreds of people out of more than $100,000 online and thousands more dollars in kind and offline. Amanda and that husband of hers, Corey, father of the year, they even fought child support payments for the daughter they stole, claiming that their cancer bills were piling up. Cannot make this up. So how did the truth stay hidden as long as it did? This week's episode of ABC's Scamanda dives into that very question.
Amanda was getting these pictures by going into the hospitals for different things, by going to the emergency rooms and hospital appointments, and she took advantage of that clinical setting.
It's not that hard to keep a gown, take tubing, take, gauze pads. It's not that hard to have medical supplies. You can order them online. There's a lot of ways that you can make it look legitimate.
At sentencing, the judge let her have it. The judge gave Amanda 5 years. That was way more than the prosecutors even asked for. And the judge called her a polished actress and a continued threat to the public. So America, Banfield fans, please do me a huge favor. Watch your wallets, because Scamanda is getting out of prison in December. I'm joined now by Ana Garcia, award-winning journalist and host of True Crime News and the popular True Crime News, the podcast. Ana Garcia, you are connected to this story. You were literally there when the feds showed up at Scamanda's house that she shared with Corey, the husband she stole, and you saw the raid going down. Like, this must just be such sweet justice for you to have worked on this story and then seen her thrown in the clink.
But it took such a long time, Ashleigh, to get that justice. So very long. Yeah, I was sitting in a car with Nancy Muscatello, who is the creator. She's the investigative journalist who broke this scam wide open. I was sitting in a car with her and a producer, and it was pitch dark out, and we sat there. We had a tip that the feds were likely going to serve a search warrant, and they finally did. You have to understand, this is a suburban little neighborhood. As the sun is rising, people are taking their kids to school, going to work, and all of a sudden you have about a dozen IRS agents, with the vest, with, the battering ram, banging on the door, let us in, let us in. And of course they did. And they were there for the rest of the day, taking boxes and boxes of evidence out of the house, out of the garage.
So I want to ask you about something, because I listened to the podcast. I binged the whole dang thing. I barely could walk the next day. I was up all night. And then I, turned right away to the ABC series and I started watching, and I can't wait for the next episodes. But there's other news that's been happening since. And you know about Amanda before the big story that we're watching right now began. It's her back in her college years as a residence assistant. She was scamming even back then. Tell everybody what was happening.
Ashleigh, I think you really pointed this out a little earlier. I mean, are they just born? Do they just happen? Is this developed, this scam over time? So back in her college days, when she was working as a resident assistant, she would call out sick a lot. And then she started realizing by asking others to cover her shift, she could skedaddle, get out of work, and it was starting to work for her. And let's not forget all the attention one gets when one says, "Oh, I really don't feel well," or "Are you okay? What can I do for you?"
Yeah, and then did she not take it further into the schools where she worked, and she was able to bilk teachers out of their sick days? Like, how did that work? I can't even imagine how it worked, let alone figuring it out so early in life.
It's so disgusting, honestly. This is the worst. So she was working as a school teacher, and she told her colleagues and everyone at the school that she had terminal cancer, but that she didn't have enough sick days or enough vacation days, and that she would lose work, lose pay in order to get her treatment. So all the other teachers rallied around and they pooled their vacation days, right? Their sick days, and gave them to her so she wouldn't lose any pay. So literally they take from themselves to give to this woman, okay? And these are school teachers. They're not making a fortune here.
If someone took my vacation days like that, or my sick days, I would need a public defender. I mean, I literally would kill them. They're valued so deeply. Right, and doesn't that really speak to the story here, is that she stole so many things that were so precious to people. She stole their money, she stole their stuff, she stole their time, she stole their babysitting, she stole their sympathy, she stole just with reckless abandon. But listen, there's another case, though, that you've been working on that I want you to jump in and tell me about, too, because I love your work, and I appreciate you talking about Scamanda. But on True Crime News today, you did something on this story that we were also following either last week or the week before on that celebrity hairstylist, Fabio Cementelli. You've got some pretty sweet tape.
Yeah, we did, actually. You know, those wonderful FOIA requests that you make and you never know how they're ever going to pay off. So we made an application to the police department where Christopher Austin was arrested for the interrogation tapes. Now, he is the third wheel in this triangle. He has already pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, and he is expected to testify against Monica. Now, here's what's so interesting. These interrogation tapes reveal what the possible links could be and how strong his testimony will be. For example, he claims that it was Monica who gave the green light for them to go in and kill her husband, Fabio. So, and keep in mind that the boyfriend in all of this, right, the porn star who also, you know, was a teacher of racquetball, that even though he's already, you know, going to be in prison for the rest of his life, has admitted to the crime, he has not turned on Monica. Like, what is it about her that he is still defending her to this day? Okay, innocent until proven guilty, but come on now.
But come on, you're going to be locked up for a very long time. I know. Hey, could you do me a huge favor, Anna? The next time you have a story that you're working on with a character named Fabio, would you call me, please? Because you're coming back.
It'll be rare. It'll be rare, but I will definitely remember. And please, Ashleigh, can you give my best to the Greenbergs? Because I feel for that family. There is no way in my mind that Ellen stabbed herself in the back. That's all I got to say.
Well, Josh and Sandy are coming up on the program a little later, and I will definitely tell them that. It's so sweet of you to say that. It just speaks to the, you know, the mission of the coverage in true crime, that you care about the people who are affected most, and that's the victims and their families. Thank you so much for doing this, Anna Garcia. Let me give a quick plug. True Crime News airs daily. You can check your local listings for stations and times, and Scamanda airs Thursdays on ABC. The next day, it comes out on Hulu. Thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
My pleasure.
Anna Garcia joining us live, and not the last time, that's for sure.